This is Andrew for the Chosen Prime with a quick video review of Sparktoys ST-01 Alpha Pack, otherwise known as their take on a War Within Optimus Prime. War Within was a comic book that told the pre-G1 story on Cybertron, and this is a version of Optimus Prime in that mode shown in the comic book. You can see here's his box, got some nice foil lettering on the front and nice detail and artwork throughout. Very solid box. The figure does come packaged in his Cybertronian kind of truck mode here in a plastic tray, standard for most figures like that. Accessories, he comes with his standard kind of prime rifle here with a bit of kind of clear red in it. He comes with an axe here that can fold up, and I'll show this off in a bit. And then he also comes with some really nice instructions here that are in color, as well as a collector's card that's almost like a credit card. It's actually individually numbered. So we'll go ahead and take a look at some details of his vehicle mode here. Taking a look at Alpha Pack in his truck mode here, you can see that's a faithful recreation of that War Within Optimus Prime design. Overall, it's a very large and hefty truck. Scale-wise, it's almost masterpiece scale, and I'll show that off when I get to MP10 comparisons. But it's almost its own scale. It's meant to be this large, kind of big and detailed version of Optimus here. The red paint here does have a bit of pearlescence to it, and some glitter underneath it. And the same thing with the blue. Overall the paint is very striking. In person it catches the light very well, and all the detail is covered out in silver or chrome. Also works quite well to kind of highlight the different details and features of this toy. He does have rubberized tires that run smoothly. Fully, they're not kind of balloon, they're just kind of coated in rubber, but it's still they still have traction. His canopy in the front here can flip forward to show some detail. That's a nice little bonus. And overall, it's just a really kind of excellent looking version of that War Within Prime. If you want to, you can take the Prime gun and you flip out a little peg here that matches a slot on top of the vehicle. And you can store the Prime gun there on the in truck mode here. And so again, it's a very nice update of this design, much better than the original titanium release. So we'll go ahead and transform him into his robot mode. Alpha Pack here is actually a lot more fun to transform than some of the other Cybertronian Optimus Primes that have come out in the past. It's actually fairly intuitive to transform him and overall kind of fun. To begin, we come to the arms here and we unpeg them from this red section here. There's just a peg and a peg hole in each one of the arms. Come to the underside. These little panels here on the sides flip down and fold in on both sides. And then we unpeg it from the torso. In general, there's a lot of strong pegs that hold him together in all his modes. We come to his arms, and there's a kind of a tab that matches the tab slot on his arm here. You want to fold it over onto itself and hold it in, peg it in, and kind of tab it in. Do the same thing over here. The back red panels here will unpeg from the legs, and this will fold up temporarily. The legs actually have, they extend, and there's actually a little peg when you're going back into vehicle mode, kind of like MP10, you just push this to kind of release the legs to be able to go up. We fold out the feet. Again, very simple. Split the legs. Legs are done. The torso up here, they're normally in vehicle mode. This little kind of tooth mechanism pegs into the back. And so you want to rotate this down slightly, rotate it 180, and then now this tab will tap into the underside of the vehicle by rotating this joint. And it'll lock into place. The back pack here will slide down, revealing the head. And it'll pull up. There's this Cybertronian head. This canopy is on a double hinge to come down. This piece comes up, and it'll feed up through the back. And there essentially is the backpack. And you want to, there's a tab here that matches the tab hole in this little kind of hinge part, and it'll sit on its back. Rotate the arms, the forearms forward. Standard kind of just open up this panel and flip out the hand. And then rotate the fist. Close this panel. Do the same thing on the other side. Rotate this hand. Flip out the panel. And again, very solid construction. It's overall kind of a fun toy to kind of transform between its different modes. And there is Alpha Pack in his robot mode. And we'll take a look at some detail. Taking a look at some robot mode detail here for Alpha Pack. You can see that the metallic paint kind of carries throughout, including his head. Lots of nice detail to really homage the Warwithin version of Prime. Fairly clean backside and backpack. Nice bits of chrome. As far as articulation, he does have a ball jointed head that can look side to side as well as tilt just ever so slightly. His arms are on a ratchet here as well as the hinge that can slide out. This panel here can move forward and back and slide in and out to kind of get out of the way. He does have a bicep swivel as well as a forearm swivel here to kind of give you some options. And he does have just a standard kind of 90-degree bend at the elbow. His hands can rotate as well as the exhausts here. They can rotate around if you would like to move them a bit. As far as the hand, it's a standard kind of masterpiece styled hand where the bottom three fingers are one hinged piece. But then he actually has an indexed finger here that's got multiple joints, so you can get some kind of poses out of it. He does have a waist swivel. If you move these little panels out here at his waist, he can't move his legs up that far. They are ratcheted. And then he's got a soft kind of ratchet in the knees. But he's a big, burly kind of character here. But you still can get some decent poses. As far as his ankles, he does have strong ankle tilts, as well as the toe and the heel can fold in. And I'll show off some kind of how you can pose them here in a little bit. As far as weapon storage, there are two pegs on his backpack here. You can take the folded up axe here and match the peg hole to the peg here. And then the gun also has pegs on it to be able to hold and peg in onto the backpack. So he can store his weapons in robot mode if you choose so. As far as holding them, we'll do the axe first. We come to the axe here and it extends on several different joints. Get a nice strong axe, and he's got the standard kind of tabbed mechanism for the hands that matches the slot in his palms. So we can come here, just slot it in, and it'll hold in securely. And the same thing for the gun. The gun, standard kind of masterpiece style. Just take it, match it into the slot, peg it in, and we're good to go. One final feature he does have is that if you open these little panels here, which can be a bit tricky to open up, he does have a matrix of leadership that's in there, and it actually is on a little peg that you can pull it out. And it's, he's a big burly version of Prime, so the matrix is kind of small, but it is kind of authentic to this version of the Warwithin Prime. So it's a nice little bonus that they decided to add here to Alpha Pack. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of his posability options. Sparktoys has done a pretty good job of making sure that this version of Optimus can get some posability, even though it is a big, beefy version of Optimus here. This design from the Warwithin figures is kind of meant to be this kind of tank version of Prime, and so that they've given him even just basic posability is great. The ankles articulation here really lets him put his feet firmly down. And in general, he's just kind of a solid, kind of built toy here from Sparktoys. This is a nice looking version of that Warwithin version of Prime. Robot mode comparisons between Alpha Pack and Mass Speed Optimus Prime. This is the MP10 version of the mold. You can see that when you look at mass, they're roughly the same kind of size and scale, that this is kind of the same mass as MP10. But this version of Optimus is about a head taller overall. But you look at them kind of, the overall skeleton between the two of them, you can see the Alpha Pack is kind of a masterpiece size scale, but Sparktoys is kind of developing their own kind of scale with their Cybertronian scaled transformers. But if you did want a masterpiece version of Cybertron Warwithin Prime, Alpha Pack here does seem to match that scale. Vehicle mode comparisons. Again, you can see that their Cybertronian Prime here from Sparktoys is scaled to be this kind of masterpiece sized Prime, this large figure. They both have the same kind of bulk in vehicle mode here, same kind of overall kind of designs taken out between the two. And so if you're looking for a masterpiece scaled version of a Cybertronian Prime, Alpha Pack here definitely fits the bill quite well. Robo comparisons with War for Cybertron Optimus Prime. This is that slightly larger deluxe class figure that came out officially in Alpha Pack. You can see the Alpha Pack towers over the deluxe class version of Prime here. They both have a similar Cybertronian aesthetic between the two of them. Obviously this one being the War Within, this being the War for Cybertron video game. But you can see that both of them do a good job of being Prime. Whereas the deluxe class version of Prime here is kind of a really, really complex puzzle. He's kind of difficult to transform. He's kind of all kinds of parts, and he's kind of fiddly. That's where Alpha Pack kind of excels. He's kind of a simpler, more fun, more manageable version of a Cybertronian Optimus Prime. Vehicle comparisons with War for Cybertron Prime. Again, you can see there's a much larger size difference between the two, where this being kind of a big deluxe size and this being this almost masterpiece size figure. They both have a nice Cybertronian truck aesthetic, but overall, this matches War Within. This matches the game War for Cybertron, and overall, the one from Sparktoys Alpha Pack here, it's just a much more fun toy, a much kind of more enjoyable Prime than the complex puzzle that the War for Cybertron Optimus Prime was. Some final thoughts here on Sparktoys ST-01 Alpha Pack, or their take on a War Within Optimus Prime. You can definitely tell that this first release from the company is executed quite well. They took their time with the design, they took their time with the production. The paint is good, the overall design is good, the engineering matches what you would hope a War Within version of Prime would be. They are planning on releasing a Megatron as well as a Grimlock in the War Within designs at this larger kind of masterpiece-esque scale. Alpha Pack is currently available from the Chosen Prime right now. If you like the way that this Cybertronian version of Prime looks and you'd like to add to your collection, he would come recommended for me. So take care.